Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to Rainbow Children of the Light. If you watched the previous episode, we explored the spiritual side of childhood anxiety and the possibility that for some of our sensitive, intuitive, and neurodivergent children, there may be more than one layer contributing to what they're experiencing. There can be the nervous system, the sensory environment, their emotions, their physical environment. And from a spiritual perspective, there may also be an energetic layer. Today, we're moving from understanding why into something really practical. What can you actually do? I'm going to walk you through a simple 6-step practice that I use to support my own children when they're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, or when I intuitively feel they could benefit from an energetic reset. And I really want you to notice the order we're going to do this in. We're not going to jump straight into clearing energy. We're going to begin with you. Then we're going to connect with your child. We're going to support their body and nervous system. And only then we're going to move into the energetic practices. So our 6 simple steps are calm, connect, breathe, clear, protect, and call in support. You don't have to do all 6 every single time. There's no, fixed and hard rule that this is how you do it. Sometimes your child might, need you to calm yourself and just sit beside them. Sometimes you might only use the breathing practice, and sometimes you may just feel intuitively that the whole energetic ritual could be supportive. This isn't about creating another routine that you have to perform perfectly. It's about giving you a little toolbox that you can draw from when you need it. So it all begins with you. So step 1, regulate yourself first. This is something that took me a while to get. When our child is anxious, something often happens inside us too. We can feel our own nervous system activate. We might start thinking, what's wrong? Why is this happening again? What do I need to do? How can I fix this? And sometimes we start talking faster. We start asking questions. We start offering solutions. We start trying to convince our child that everything is okay. But underneath all of those words, our own body might be saying, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. So before I try to bring my child back into calm, I want to first come back to myself. And I love using my heart chakra for this. So let's actually practice this together. Place one hand gently over your heart. You can close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And instead of trying to immediately change anything, just notice yourself. Notice your breathing. Notice your jaw. Is it clenched? Notice your shoulders. Are they raised? And notice your heart. And now bring your awareness into the center of your chest. Imagine your heart space beginning to open. You might visualize a beautiful green or pink light from within your heart chakra. Or perhaps you don't see anything at all, you don't imagine, that is completely fine. So we're just going to imagine that space gently expands and we feel the energy around your heart becoming softer and wider and more open. Just breathing slowly, and as you breathe out, you just become conscious, relaxing your shoulders and your jaw, and feel your body become a little bit heavier. And imagine that beautiful heart energy is expanding beyond your chest, around your shoulders, down your arms, through your body, and around your entire energetic field. And you might silently say something like, I am safe, I am grounded, I'm here. And notice what happens. Maybe your heart rate begins to slow. Maybe your breathing naturally deepens. Maybe your jaw releases. Maybe you suddenly realize just how much tension you were holding. And you don't have to become completely calm. That's not the goal. You're simply creating a little more safety inside your own body before stepping into your child's experience. One of the phases I want you to remember from today is before I try to bring my child back to calm, I first come home to myself. Because your child doesn't need a perfectly regulated mother, they need you. And if you can bring just a little more groundedness into the moment, you have something steadier to offer them. So the second step is to connect. So once you've come back to yourself, we've opened up your heart chakra, now we connect with our child. And I mean this quite literally. If your child is comfortable with touch, you might sit beside them and hold their hand or put your arm around them. You might place a gentle hand on their back, or, if they're still little, they might sit on your lap and you might give them a big cuddle. Or perhaps your child doesn't want any physical touch, when they're feeling overwhelmed. And that's okay too. Connection might simply look like sitting nearby at their eye level and just being in their presence. You're letting them know that I'm here, you're not alone in this, and rather than immediately asking, what's wrong? Why are you anxious? What's happened? Did something happen at school? Tell me what's going on. I would slow everything down and you could just simply say, I'm here, or you don't have to work this out right now, or let's just sit together for a minute. Your calm presence can help create the conditions for co-regulation. And I think sometimes we underestimate how powerful this part is. We want to do something. We, want to do the breathing technique, the energetic clearing. We want the answer, what's bothering them. But sometimes the most important thing we can offer our child is just our presence. And your child doesn't necessarily need you to talk them out of anxiety. Sometimes they simply need to feel that they aren't alone inside it. So connect first. Then if your child is receptive, we can move into breathing. So yes, the third step, breathing. So finger tracing box breathing. I really like this, and the kids use it at school. It's great because you're not just saying, take a deep breath. For some children, being told to breathe when they're already anxious can feel like another instruction, something else to do, and they're not going to want to do it. Instead, we're giving their brain something physical and visual to focus on as well. So we're going to create a square. You can trace a square around the palm of your hand. If they like it like that, they can trace one on your hand, or you can simply hold your hand out and trace the shape in the air. I'm going to start at the bottom, trace up to the first side of the square as you breathe in, then move across the top, gently pause, and down as you breathe out, and then move across the bottom and pause, and then repeat. Sometimes my kids will go breathe in and breathe out, going up and down their fingers like that, in and out as they move their fingers between their own fingers. And that really helps them have that visual and the doing part to it, not just having the you need to do this now, because they're most likely not going to want to do it. So, and again, there's no perfect way to doing this. Traditional box breathing often has equal counts for each part, but with children, I don't become overly focused on counting or making them hold their breath if that feels uncomfortable, because we're not trying to make them perform the breathing correctly. We're just simply slowing things down. And if it helps, you can do the breathing yourself while they're watching your finger. They might naturally begin matching you. And as you're doing it, just keeping your own body soft, keeping your face relaxed and your jaw loose and your voice gentle, because we're continuing on what we began in step 1. And this can all be done quite quickly. But basically what we're doing is we're communicating that, there's no emergency here. We can slow down. We can be here together. And perhaps, you do 3 squares. You might do 5. Maybe your kid says, I don't want to. And that's totally fine. That's okay. We don't need to turn our calming practice into another demand. You can just simply sit beside them and breathe yourself, because quite often your child will match your own breathing. So before we move into energy work, this is where I like to check in. How does your child seem? Are they beginning to settle? Is their breathing different? Does their body feel more relaxed? Are they receptive to continuing? What are you intuitively noticing? Maybe you suddenly feel they've just had a really overwhelming day. They just need some quiet. They need food. They need some rest, some sleep, or maybe they need movement. Or even if they just need to be left alone for a little while. So perhaps that little familiar intuitive nudge that says, I think some energetic clearing would be supportive here, that's when I would move into the next part. So you don't have to, remember, you don't have to exactly know what's happening energetically. You don't need to decide, what they're feeling belongs to this person or that person, or they've picked something up from that place, because we're not trying to create a story around it. We're simply offering a gentle, energetic reset. So the 4th step, I like to clear using the violet flame. So if you're new to my channel, I actually use this violet flame a lot in my spiritual practice and with my children. I use it every night. And it's a visualization for clearing and transmuting energy. I call upon Saint Germain and imagine this beautiful violet light surrounding my child. You can do this silently. You don't have to tell your child anything is being cleared. You can simply sit beside them and just visualize it. Or if your child enjoys spiritual practices and wants to participate, you can do it together. So let's imagine it now. Visualize a beautiful violet light beginning to appear around your child. It's soft, it's gentle, it's warm. There's nothing frightening about it. Imagine that violet light surrounding their entire body, moving around their energetic field. You might visualize it moving from the top of their head, down through their body, through their chakras, down their arms, through their legs, and around their entire aura. And then you can say silently or aloud, Saint Germain, please surround my child in the violet flame and gently clear and transmute any energy that is not serving their highest good. Thank you. And just allow it. You don't need to expect anything, analyze, or, find anything that's wrong. It's just imagining that light for your child. And just everything that no longer serves them is being released and transformed within this beautiful violet light. So, yeah, that's the important distinction for me. We clear from a place of love and not fear. And we're not teaching our children, you've picked up something bad. We're teaching them, you're allowed to release what you don't need to carry. There's a very different energy in that. So the 5th step is protection. So I like to call upon Archangel Michael. So once I've cleared, I like to strengthen my child's energetic boundaries. And this is where I call in Archangel Michael. I visualize his beautiful sapphire-blue light surrounding my child. You might imagine the light beginning from above their head and gently flowing down around them, almost like a beautiful cocoon or a bubble or a soft blue shield, whatever image feels natural for you. And then I say, Archangel Michael, please help my child release any and all energy that is not theirs to carry for their highest good. Please place a shield of your beautiful sapphire blue light around my child. protecting them from any and all energies that are not their own. May they feel safe, peaceful, grounded, and completely themselves. Thank you. Then take a moment to imagine that blue light around them. And again, I just want to emphasize, I don't do this because I want my children believing that the world is energetically dangerous. I don't want them walking into a shopping center and thinking, oh no, I need to protect myself from everyone. There's so much bad energy. For me, energetic protection is about boundaries. It's about, this is me, this is my energy, and I'm allowed to stay centered within myself. I want energetic boundaries to feel normal, peaceful, empowering, not frightening. So the next step, step 6, is I call on their spirit team. So yeah, I like to call in my child's spiritual team. For me, this is just such a beautiful way to finish because we've moved through our own body, the connection, the breathing, the clearing, the protection. And now we just finish by surrounding our child with loving spiritual support. You might say, I now call upon Billy's spiritual team, their guides, angels, and loving beings for the highest light. Please surround them now. Please support, guide, and protect them in whatever may serve their highest good, or something along that. Help them feel safe, grounded, peaceful, and completely themselves. Thank you. And then you just let it go. You don't need to keep doing any more, and you don't need to keep checking. You don't need to analyze whether it worked or not. Just let your child be. And that is so powerful. So use your own wording. That's completely fine. Mine is just a suggestion. So let's just quickly bring everything together. Number 1, we calm. We come back into our own body, sink into our heart chakra, let the heart space expand, relaxing your jaw and your shoulders and becoming yourself grounded. And then the second one is connect. Come physically close to your child if they're welcoming it. Hold their hand or give them a cuddle or sit beside them, or just let your presence say, I'm here. The third thing is to breathe. You can use the finger tracing box breathing, up, across, down, that pattern, or over their fingers, breathing in as you go up, breathing down as you go down. Completely up to you, as long as it just feels gentle and comfortable. Yeah, not forcing it. Then the fourth thing is clearing. I call upon Saint Germain and visualize the violet flame gently clearing and transmuting energy that isn't serving their highest good. And then the fifth is protect. Call upon Archangel Michael, surround your child in sapphire-blue light, strengthening their energetic boundaries. Call in support is number 6. Invite their spiritual team in, guides and angels to surround and support them for their highest good. So it goes calm, connect, breathe, clear, protect, call in support. So you don't have to use all of those 6 steps every single time. I don't want you to watch this or listen to this and go, oh, wow, that is a lot to do. Okay, so every time my child gets anxious, I need to do all 6 things. No, you don't. Sometimes you might get to step 2 and realize, okay, well, maybe they just needed mum. Sometimes you'll breathe together and that's just enough. Sometimes you'll recognize that your child needs a sensory break, or, maybe they need to eat, maybe they need to sleep. Sometimes something has happened at school and they just need to help processing that. And sometimes you may feel drawn to move through the entire energetic process. So just let this be in your toolkit. It's not another, have to parenting rule. You know your child, and over time you can begin noticing what seems to support them. And I do this every night with my children. I follow these steps, which is really, I think, such a lovely way to end the day as well. Another question I get is, what if my child doesn't want to participate? So your child doesn't actually need to sit perfectly still while you perform this energetic ritual, especially our neurodivergent children. They might be on the move, playing or drawing, or they might even just be lying under a blanket or jumping around on the trampoline. They might not want to close their eyes. They might not want to breathe with you, and that's okay. Meet your child exactly what you have in front of you, where they're at. You know, the regulation doesn't have to look a particular way, and you don't have to force touch or breathing exercises if they don't want them. You can regulate yourself. You can sit nearby. And if energetic practices are a part of your family's spiritual beliefs, you can do your own visualization quietly without requiring your child to be performing it with you. So, what if the anxiety keeps happening? And I want to talk about this because energetic tools aren't a replacement for getting additional support when your child needs it. If your child's anxiety is persistent, if it's becoming more intense, if it's affecting their schoolwork or their sleep or their friendships or family life, or stopping them from doing every normal day things, please reach out for appropriate professional support. And if you can still do everything that I've taught you today, you can support their nervous system, you can seek professional guidance, you can understand their neurodivergence, you can advocate for their sensory needs. You can use the violet flame. You can call upon Archangel Michael. You can call upon their spiritual team. Those things don't have to compete with each other. For me, that's what supporting the whole child means. And I certainly have done this for my daughters as well. They have been through various different professional supports and the energetics. And sometimes as mum, you might be reaching a point where you're thinking, I've supported everything I know how to support, but I still have this feeling that there's another layer here. That's also where my children's rainbow recalibration sessions can offer personalized energetic support, because everything I've taught today is general, but your child isn't general. They're completely individual. And during a children's rainbow recalibration session, I work with your child's energetic system through gentle distance healing. I work with their chakras, their aura, their energetic field, and I channel guidance around what comes through specifically for your child. And afterwards, I provide you with a written report and insights from the session. So it's not about saying, anxiety means this, because there isn't just one energetic explanation that applies to every child. It's about asking, what does this individual child need? And if you feel drawn to exploring that deeper energetic layer for your child, you can find more information about the Children's Rainbow Recalibration session through the link below. Before we finish, I actually want to bring this back to you one more time, because so much of motherhood is focused on, what does my child need? What should I do? How do I help? How do I make this better? And sometimes we forget that we're in the room too. So place your hand over your own heart again. Take a gentle, deep breath. Feel your heart space, imagining it opening. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften, and remind yourself you don't have every answer. I can be here. I can listen. I can trust myself to take the next gentle step. And then imagine that beautiful heart energy expanding around you. Because sometimes the first energetic shift in the room begins with us. Not because we're responsible for everything our child feels, but because our presence matters. So if you take one thing from today's episode, let it be this. Begin with your body, connect through the heart, then gently support the energy. Calm, connect, breathe, clear, protect, call in support. Such a beautiful, beautiful practice. And yeah, again, remember, you don't need to do everything perfectly. You don't need to know exactly why your child feels anxious, and you don't need to identify every energy. You can simply become curious and about what they need and meet them from there. If you found this practice helpful, save this episode so you can come back and follow along with the steps whenever you need them. And if you know any other spiritual mum raising a sensitive, intuitive, or neurodivergent child who might benefit from this practice, please share this episode with her too. And if you haven't watched the previous episode yet, Could Your Child's Anxiety Have an Energetic Layer? You can go back and watch that one too, because it explains the deeper understanding behind everything we've practiced today. So thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next episode of Rainbow Children of the Light. So I'm sending so much love to you and your little one.